It's all about that motherfucking hot girl booty cheek shit. I'm really liking this autofocus. You know what I want to talk about today, baby? Besides that hot girl booty cheek shit, is just that normal grind of life. And just as we're trying to get through to the next level in life, we have to understand that sometimes there's going to be invisible forces. Sometimes we stop ourselves. Sometimes we hinder our own progress. But at times, we have to just keep pushing forward to see what's on the other side so we don't lose our progress. And I've just not been resting well. I feel instead of being all hyped up and running at 100 miles per hour, I feel like my body and my mind are trying to pull back a little bit and trying to force me to slow down. And I think I don't know what it is. If it's a sleep schedule, it's messed up, because last weekend I had 2 days. Well, the last 2 weekends I stayed out way too late working, came back at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning, and then slept during the day. And it really messed me up. And I had to rethink the whole schedule of, well, how should I be a little bit more disciplined in this? And I think if you're in control of your schedule, then you have more responsibility to yourself. You don't have somebody else to rely on for your schedule. So you have to take responsibility. Even if you don't work for yourself, you don't have your own business, you're not doing these things, you have to look at it like, well, what little things can I do right now to take control? I can go to the gym every day. I can watch what I eat. I can control these things. I can control my effort, and I can control what time I'm going to bed. Little stuff like this. And then you can control how clean you are. I've gotten better at that. That was one of my weaknesses, I guess, because ADHD is an issue for me. I didn't realize how much it was until I accepted, okay, maybe I need to work on some weaknesses, because what would be the weaknesses of these traits and how do I compare it to myself? And then trying to look at myself objectively and subjectively at the same time and saying, well, let me think outside of myself and say, well, if I was somebody else, what would I tell myself, right? How would I view what I'm doing, if it's right or wrong, or if it's, because it doesn't necessarily have to be right or wrong on what I'm doing if I'm not being clean, but it also has to be, how does this affect my life? How does this affect me mentally? And I think somebody would maybe come in and say, hey, if you're not cluttered, they would help you out mentally. You would be able to relax a little bit more, and you have to stop avoiding things that's right in your face. Sometimes metaphorically and realistically, there's things sitting right in front of that are looking at us regardless of what it is. And we say we have to fix these things. So it's little things, finances, physically, mentally. I would say you don't want to overwhelm yourself. So just do things small, just make little changes. And that's what I've done. I've said, well, let me fix that. Let me fix this. Maybe I'll do it for 30 minutes, not very long, but I'll do it small so I can add it in, so I can not just completely forget about everything else. I just try to add it into my routine. It's just the small little changes that compound, and then you look at yourself and you say, man, I've made a lot of little changes that have made big impacts in my life. And it's just one of those things where you have to be willing to look at things from a different perspective, because perspective is everything, and there's a million perspectives, unlimited perspectives for the same situation. Okay, I'm in a bad spot, but are you really in a bad spot? Is there an opportunity? Because the only bad spot, if you don't have an opportunity to change something, if you have a problem and you have the opportunity to change it, even if it's hard, well, great, because that's what life is about. It's about problems, and trying to solve little problems and do it slowly over time will then help you create better problems later on. And that's what I'm trying to look for, is how do I solve these little problems that need to be solved now, so then later on I can have better problems than what I have now. And until you solve the little problems in your life, I feel like you won't get those other problems, because you might be distracted by the issues that you need to work on now. And it's a slow process, because sometimes we're distracted by our own beliefs, our own set of circumstances, because obviously life is different for everybody. Nobody's the same. And everybody has a different opinion on everything. So there's a saying, it's iron sharpens iron. So if you have an iron-like mindset, then you should try to work on getting other ideas from people that share a strong view and strong mindset of certain circumstances, like overcoming obstacles. And obstacles they're all problems. All of them are problems. And they're all good problems to have. So, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of a burnout because of the fact that my schedule was so weird and I was sleeping. I had a bad sleep schedule for the last 2 weeks. So I feel like I just ran myself to the ground a little bit, and now I'm trying to recover. No matter what I do, I drink caffeine. I have as much caffeine as I can have, and I still just feel like so what I'll do for the next week is I'll try to figure it out. I'll try to figure out what is going to get me back in the driver's seat to filling I need to fill. So I'm going to go double down on my running. I'm going to double down on working out. And instead of me withdrawing and trying to do less activity, I'm going to try to do more activity, but on the other end of things. Instead of working more, I'm going to work on my sleep schedule. I'm going to go work out twice as hard. I'm going to go run twice as many miles. So maybe for me, it's just a mental thing. And that's what I think. It's just something mental. And that's the problem I have, right? And I'm trying to solve a problem. So being in tune with yourself is a good thing, because if you're in tune with your brain, you're in tune with your body, and you're eating trash foods. If you eat bad food for long enough, your brain is just going to break, and it's just going to say, you know what, it is. Your brain's going to feel a certain way, and it's not going to register it. But if you're eating constantly a healthy diet, and then you go to eat and you have something that maybe doesn't register, your body doesn't like, your brain and your body are going to tell you immediately, okay, something's off here, and you're going to feel it. And I'm very sensitive to dietary changes, and that's a blessing for me, because I know, hey, if I feel a certain way, well, then something happened. If I had too much sugar, if I had processed sugar, I can immediately feel it. I'm going to get shaky. I'm going to feel my brain's going to just go hyperdrive, and I'm just going to start almost like shaking, because my brain and body just don't. It just lets me know, hey man, let's not do this. So I'll go run, but I don't feel like I don't need processed foods. I don't need processed sugar to go out and get a good run in. But in that instance, I was like, I need to go run. I need to go get this stuff out of my system immediately. I don't want my blood sugar to be so high where I'm just shaking. And so it's all about being in tune with who you are and trying to get a certain level of results, having a problem and learning how to solve it. I think nothing in life is going to be easy. Some days are going to be hard, but you know, I'm just burnt out, dude. I'm trying to figure out how I can unburn myself. So let's go out and do that motherfucking hot girl booty cheek shit.